Hello, and welcome back to another edition of All or Not According to Jack with your host, Jack Toledano. So today, uh, well, before I started to record, so this is a late afternoon recording, hence the glare you see on my glasses, which I'll try to hide from you the best I can, but not much you can do when there's backlight right now. My one of my windows faces the western sky, so it's little difficult recording at this time of day, but fact is, I have to get on the road this evening to head upstate, so that's why I'm trying to get this done now. Uh, George and I literally just got done watching, and not to change the subject, but we just watched the greatest Little League baseball game. Uh, Check out the Little League World Series if you haven't. It is so freaking good. These kids playing at this level, they're almost like major leaguers. The drama, the closeness of the games, it was incredible. Venezuela just beat Japan 3-2, so they advanced to take on Taiwan, I believe it is, for the international championship. So check it out. So on to my topic for tonight. As I mentioned, I would have this new topic that I would be bringing to you from time to time called Concerts Remembered. I bought this concert journal at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I probably will start filling this book out in time. But at the same time, I'm also going to start giving you some concerts remembered. So for the first episode, we're going to talk about a band that I saw three times. And this damn, yeah. Yeah, now you see my face a little bit better. Um, a band that I saw three times. And unfortunately, a couple weeks ago, they made the announcement that they wouldn't be able to tour anymore due to the fact that their lead singer can't really sing on stage anymore, which is sad, but I thought I would reminisce. So we are talking about, I'm going to share Aerosmith. So I have seen Aerosmith three times in my lifetime. So we're going to go right to the uh, the PowerPoint. We're in the PowerPoint, but I'm going to get you a better view of the PowerPoint. So let's do that. There we go. Concerts remembered, three times seeing Aerosmith. So, first time I saw them, and I have a slide for each show, Nassau Coliseum, January 13th, 1980. I was talking to my good buddy Davey Cretin because we also have an upcoming Aerosmith episode on his channel, and he asked me who the opener was. It's a band called Mother's Finest, if you've ever heard of them. But the other thing notable about this concert was that Joe Perry had left, and Jimmy Crespo was the lead guitarist replacing Joe Perry. Sad but true. So these are the songs they played: Back in the Saddle, Mama Kin, I Want to Know Why, off of uh, Draw the Line. Then they went into the album that they were touring at the time, Night in the Ruts, for Big 10-inch record. Oh no, I'm sorry. Big 10-inch records on Toys of the Attic. Yeah, dummy. Duh. Oh, so 3 Mile Smile is off of Night in the Ruts. 3 Mile Smile, Reefer Headed Woman, Bone to Bone, Coney Island, Whitefish Boy. Say that three times fast. Uh, you might wonder why I have a picture of Marty Feldman in the corner here. From what I understand, he was the inspiration for Walk This Way. When they were recording, what the hell was it? Walk This Way, they only had about four songs written, so they were writing as they were recording, and they needed a break, so they all went to see Young Frankenstein at the theater somewhere in Manhattan, and they all loved the movie as I loved the movie, and They all got back to the studio. They were quoting lines, and their producer, Jack Douglas, said, "Hey, here's a line for a movie, for a song. Walk this way, this way." So they went with it, and it became a big hit for them. So then they played the other big hit, Dream On. Then they played a favorite of mine, Rat, Going Under Rats in the Cellar. While I spilled my water, I was watching the Yankee game earlier today, and apparently in the sound in the audio booth, or the broadcast booth, Paul O'Neill spilled a whole cup of coffee, but I only spilled about that much. Moving on, No Surprise and Remember Walking in the Sand, or also off of Night in the Ruts. Then an old favorite from Get Your Wings, Lord of the Thighs, also off of Get Your Wings, Same Old Song and Dance. Milk Cow Blues, that was a song that they played at that time, which I didn't remember the song, but it was a song off of the heck is it? Draw the Line. Of course, they closed with Toys in the Attic, another favorite of mine. Encore, Come Together, and Train Kept a Rolling. Great show. That's one thing about Aerosmith. Steven Tyler doesn't really talk a lot on stage, but they fit a lot of material into those shows. 18 songs at that time, I thought was just amazing. I thought I really got my money's worth for the $11 or $12 I spent at that time. So very cool. Next show, I did not see them again until 2003. They actually had a double bill with Kiss. So my understanding is that they were taking turns. Some nights Kiss would close the show. Some nights it was Aerosmith. On this particular night, it was Aerosmith. And let me tell you something. They both had such elaborate stage sets that it took them an hour to break down Kiss's set and to put up Aerosmith's set. And at that time, I brought my son Jason, who, how old was he? He had to have been, so he was born in 95. So that would put him at about 8 years old. Yeah, he was 8 years old when I took him to see that show. And he was so excited to see Kiss. And then I said, look, I spent $120 a ticket for us to go. And let me elaborate further. This show had sold out. So there was two sold out shows. But then what happened? They ended up releasing a block of tickets towards the end, because I guess they held some tickets for complimentary means, but they released some tickets. So the only tickets that were available were tickets pretty damn close to the stage in the orchestra section. And I think they were like $110, $120 each. But my wife, the sport that she is, she's like, yeah, go for it, take him. He really wanted to see Kiss, so we got to see Kiss. And I said, after Aerosmith, after Kiss left the stage and Aerosmith was about to set up for their stage, and I said, for their concert, I said, Jason, no way. For what I spent, no way we are leaving. I have to see Aerosmith. And I liked them anyway. Jason didn't really know them other than a couple of hits they had. But another funny, notable thing, Gene Simmons normally does not come to the microphone. He lets Paul Stanley do all the talking. But on this night, what happened was, so they were about to play 100,000 Years. The clowns that were operating the lighting board were very remiss at bringing up the spotlight to Paul Stanley so he could address the crowd. So Gene Simmons, really pissed off, he gets to the microphone. I remember, plain as day, bring the fucking spot up. I'm like, wow, I can't believe he just did that. But, you know, guys are perfectionists. They want a good show, and the lighting crew fucked up. But I wouldn't be surprised if somebody got fired that night. If it, in fact, it wasn't just union people that worked for the theater that were doing the lighting, but who knows? So getting to Aerosmith, uh, as you can see, there was a little bit of a shorter set because both Aerosmith and Kiss needed equal time. I'm not going to get into Kiss's set list, but I know they did play 15 songs. Aerosmith has 16. So they did let the music do the talking. Mama Kin, Love in an Elevator, Ragdoll, Pink, Nobody's Fault, one another favorite of mine, What It Takes. So then what they did was they kind of flipped the stage around to a smaller stage, and they gave us, I think that they had an album coming out called, was it Honkin' on Bobo or something like that? It was a blues album. So they played I Never Loved a Man, Baby Please Don't Go, Shame, Shame, Shame. So then they did Dream On, Crying. This was when they went back to the normal stage. And also, surprisingly, before song number 8, Joe Perry actually got on the microphone and introduced the songs. Because again, Steven Tyler really doesn't address the crowd that much. Never has. So song 11, Dream On, Crying. Back in the Saddle, they kept it towards the end this time. Ended the set with Walk This Way, This Way. Encores, and Jason fell asleep during Aerosmith's set. So I stayed for till the end of Walk This Way. Had to get the kid home. Poor kid was 8 years old, had to go to camp the next day. By the way, it was August 4th, 2003, the concert was. As we were walking, leaving the gates, they were playing Sweet Emotion. And then final song of the evening, Dude Looks Like a Lady. But great show, great double bill. Who knows, would I ever see such a big, phenomenal show like that again? One of these days, I'll probably do concerts remembered for at least some of my Kiss shows. Another idea I had is to do concerts remembered for some double bills, like this one, for example. But the theme of tonight is Aerosmith. So let's get to my third and final Aerosmith show. So this show I wasn't even planning to go to, but a friend of mine called me, said that he had an extra ticket to go see them at Madison Square Garden, uh, November 20th, 2012, a few days before Thanksgiving. So I'm like, sure. I hadn't been to a show in a while, so let's do it. Um, so notable is that their opener was Cheap Trick. This would be the third and last time that I would see them in concert. And the real treat here is that for this show, I had a camera with me, a Canon camera with a nice telephoto lens. So I got to take some pictures, and I will share them for you after this slide. So set list that night, it was a very good set list because they played a lot of their oldies. Opened with Mama Kin, which I love. Love in an Elevator, Jaded. Oh yeah, song I don't really, not really familiar with. Living on the Edge. This was another one of their comeback songs. Uh, then they went back to their first Aerosmith album, 1973, for Moving Out and Walking the Dog. Then they decided to go back to, uh, they decided to bring a Brad Whitford co-written tune. Brad, right there, buddy. Brought his son out on stage. For Last Child, drum solo. Uh, for this show, Steven Tyler actually went out there and helped Joey Kramer on the drums. They kind of had a little drum battle going, which was pretty cool. Ragdoll, I've got a picture to show you of relevance for Ragdoll later on. Boogeyman, Combination, a song I don't recall them ever playing. That was the first song that Joe Perry wrote by himself for an Aerosmith album, and he did a co-lead vocal with Steven Tyler on Combination. Love Her a Lot, What It Takes, No More, No More, another great tune off of Toys in the Attic. Come Together, they brought out Sean Lennon for that song, which was pretty cool. Dude Looks Like a Lady, closed again with Walk This Way, This Way. Their encores, Dream On and Sweet Emotion. Um, so let's show you some of those pictures. Uh, I didn't really I had a bunch of pictures for of Cheap Trick as well, but one picture of note that I wanted to show you. Look at this maniac. Rick Nielsen singing back up and playing a 5-neck guitar. Now I can understand the necessity of a 2-neck guitar, but why a 5-neck guitar? Other than the fact that you're just boasting, and I know he's a big guitar collector. When I saw them, Pete and I saw them at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction. He actually gave Steve Miller a guitar as a present for his induction. And he brought it out to him on stage. It was actually a guitar with the Miller Beer logo, which I thought was pretty cool. But that's one thing I like about Rick Nielsen. Love his guitars, especially his Gibson Explorers with this checkerboard pattern. But on this night, that was the picture of the day. A 12 string and then 4 other normal 6 strings. I can't see tuning those four necks with different tunings and playing that in the same song. This is had to be just for show, but I digress. Moving on. No more pictures of Cheap Trick. All the rest, Aerosmith. So there's this one. Steve and Joe sharing a mic for one of their tunes. Steve and Joe again. Looks like he's playing a Gibson. What is that? Looks like a hollow body guitar with a pretty lady on there. I never saw that. I took this damn picture, but later in the slideshow, you're going to get a little idea of where I sat to get these pictures. Okay, this is the 5-some. I thought that was a nice picture. Got Steve, Joe, Joey, Brad, and Tom. Okay, 2 pictures of Joe Perry with that little wavy hair with his signature. What do you call it? Where he bleaches just a little part of his hair. This picture, he's playing ragdoll on a lap steel guitar, and distorted lap steel guitar, which I thought was very cool. Played it very well on stage. So cool. Loved it. Good job, Joe. Next picture. This is a picture of the 5-some. Unfortunately, as you will see, later on, you're going to see where I sat. Basically sat at the top of Madison Square Garden. So even my lens, I had some difficulties getting it to focus. This picture is much better when I didn't blow it up like I did here. Next. Here we go. So this picture is the encore where they played Dream On. And the reason this picture came out so well is because what they did for this song, they had a center stage out in the middle of the crowd, similar to what Paul Stanley does, where he flies through the crowd to a center stage. But instead, Steven just walked out to the center stage to play Dream On, while the rest of he and Joe were at the center stage, while the rest of the band were back on the regular stage. But isn't that a great picture, folks? I was able to really get the expressions on his face because he was that much closer. And that's Joe standing on top of the piano, going into probably his first little solo for Dream On. This next picture deserves a slide all to itself. There you go. Look at that, folks. Isn't that freaking amazing? I think I put this up on Facebook a few weeks ago. Steven standing up on top of the piano. Joe with his da 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 da. Dream on, dream on. That's, yeah, when that's happening. I literally just noticed that there's some chords underneath the stage there, but oh, so cool with the dry ice. Definitely one of my best concert photos I ever took. I mean, look at the expression there. Of course, Joe has his face down, but again, you can see his little bleached lock of hair there. So that's it. I have one more slide, which I'm going to show you. These are my friends that I went to the show with, Patrick and Christina, good friends of mine. And that's me about 50 pounds ago. Damn, I was a little chunky back then, but so this picture shows you our view basically to the naked eye, how far the stage was from us. And as you can see right in the middle there was the center stage that they walked out to for Dream On. But another little joke is that, so my friend Patrick is an avid New York Islander fan, and he has always hated the Rangers. So Patrick and I used to work at a company called Nielsen, I don't know, going back to the mid-90s, I believe it was. And even back then, he hated the Rangers. And this was about the time that they were making that push to their first Stanley Cup in about 40 years. And he placed a bet with somebody in the office that if the Rangers won the Stanley Cup, he had to wear a Ranger jersey to work that day. And he shows up to work. Somebody brought that jersey. He had to wear it around the office all day. It was the funniest thing. I love you, Pat. Too funny. This is the same guy who a few times called me a front runner because I don't get caught up in this Islander Ranger rivalry. I was happy for the Rangers that they won, but he didn't want me to root for the Rangers. So it was like, oh, you're a front runner rooting for whoever's in first place. And I'm like, I could say the same thing to you, buddy. Rooting for the New York Yankees and the Dallas Cowboys there. What are you gonna do? So I will stop sharing. This is Jack Toledano. Again, this has been a Concerts Remembered series. George has given me an amazing idea for future reference. Maybe I'll do it, hopefully, if I have the time, but we'll see. In any event, Jack Toledano, quoting All or Not according to Jack. This has been fun. I've got more coming up. Possibly next week. What I will do is I'd like to do one of Judas Priest, and right now I haven't planned on a third, or I mean, I'm definitely going to do a third and a fourth. I'm going to keep these going as long as possible. But I probably, I don't know who I'm going to do for for concerts remembered 3 and 4 yet, but we'll see when we get to it. Jack Toledano, speaking for all or none, according to Jack. If you like what I do, please subscribe. Please tell your friends about me. I can really use your help as I try to push my my subscribership up to 1,000. So please help me out, folks, and just keep watching my videos. Have a good one, folks. Talk to you soon.